I'm here to tell you that juggling is life. Whoever said football is life? They didn't know juggling. So I've promised multiple times that juggling is my special skill. I'm not going to juggle knives, but I am going to teach you how to juggle, and I'm going to explain how juggling is life. So I thought you might not have juggling balls at home, so what would you use? You'd use socks. So I took some very lovely colored socks and just kind of wadded them up, and they're very juggleable. Da, 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 da. And now I'm going to show you how to learn to juggle. So first, you're going to take one of these sock balls, and you're just going to practice throwing it from probably your dominant hand to your less dominant hand. And you want to throw it so that it reaches eye level in this nice, perfect McDonald's arch, just like that. So, and this might take you a while. I know, this is the boring route to juggling, but it is the surest route. I have taught many people to juggle, and you might find yourself watching it a lot at first, or you might find that your right hand throw is better than your left hand throw, but this is where you start, is you just practice throwing from one hand to the other hand. And usually your hands are kind of like relaxed at waist level. You don't want to have tight shoulders. Juggling is a fun activity. It should be fun and easy. And also don't do this with balls that bounce, because that's just mayhem. They're going to go all over the place. So make it easy for yourself. Wad up a ball of socks and just back and forth. Once you are really confident at this, and you have very consistent throws, and you're not having to reach out here or back there, not having to pick it up too often, then you're ready for step 2. You add a second one. So now that perfect arch you've been throwing, when it reaches its peak and it's about to fall, that's when you know to throw the next one, and you throw it on the inside of the one that's coming down. You don't throw it on the outside, that's a trick. So you throw it up, and then you throw the next one. And again, if you're dominant handed, you'll probably find yourself, like I'm right handed, probably find yourself always starting with that same hand. And that's an okay place to start, just to make sure, that you can do that consistently. Also in juggling, gravity happens. So sometimes there's just a little extra gravity in one spot. It's okay. So once you've got one direction good, I can always consistently throw from my right hand, starting with my right hand. Then you want to alternate, start with my right hand, and now start with my left hand. Might not be as good of a throw. You could, if you wanted to really practice becoming ambidextrous, start with your left hand for a while. In the end though, you want to be able to start with your right, and then start with your left. Start with your right, and then start with your left. And you can see the kind of the pace I'm doing this is almost like I'm juggling. I'm just missing a ball. And you can see I'm kind of pretending like I'm throwing that third ball right there. So that's when you're ready for the third ball. My third ball had hit the pocket of gravity there. So to do 3 balls, you start with 2 in one hand, 1 in the other. And usually the 2 in one hand, one is kind of more towards the fingertips. So it can that's the one that's going to launch. And so then you just launch it. It's like the same thing. You were just doing the last step. Whoops. But then you might have some gravity. And you see how nice it is that it's not a bouncing ball? I could just reach down and pick it up. So socks are a good place to start. And then when you can do it without gravity getting in your way, what you're looking for, so like I'm just going to stop looking at you for a second, is being able to have very consistent throws from both hands. If you throw them higher, that gives you a little more time, but your throws might not be as good. If you throw them a little lower, it's very fast and they're bound to hit each other. But then you can start counting. How many consistent throws did I have before one dropped? So there you go. How to juggle. Talk to me later if you want to learn tricks. But get the first how to juggle 3, and then you're good. So what the heck does this have to do with life? Dude, juggling is life. So we are constantly juggling where our attention goes, what projects we're working on, work life, family life. So just imagine each one of these sock balls, they're kind of turning into sock wads, as a part of your life. So here's work life, here's home life, here's play. How do I make sure that I get all three of these in my life? It's exactly the same principle when you are juggling too. I'm focused on this one, I'm launching it into the air, and as soon as it's reached its peak, that's when I know to throw the next one. Okay, this is about to come down, throw the next one. So you're keeping an even balance between all the aspects of your life. What if you have more than 3 things in your life? That's when you have to change your juggling pattern. You can't juggle more than 3 things in this way. You have to change the pattern. So if you're juggling 4, sometimes the way you do it is you do 2 in one hand and then 2 in the other hand. That will also be a talk to me after you can juggle 3, and I'll show you how to juggle 4. Same with juggling 5, it's a totally different pattern. If you want to juggle more than that, you might juggle with another person, and then you're sharing the pattern. Which brings me to another way that juggling is about life, because when you are passing balls or clubs or knives or torches with another person, you have to first be stable in your own juggling pattern. I seem to have lost a sockwood. I think a cat just took it. Hold on. All right, I had to retrieve one of my juggling socks from the cat. So sometimes it's not just gravity, it's a cat that will take your juggling ball away. Anyway, to juggle with another person is a lot like relationships. You have to first be able to juggle yourself. You have to be able to manage your own projects, your own life, your own emotions. You have to manage yourself. Once you can juggle yourself, then you can pass with another person by throwing one of your balls towards them while they throw one of their balls towards you. And now you've got a juggling pattern with another person. And here's the thing, when you're juggling with someone else, you are able to not just look at your pattern anymore. Oops. Boy, apparently you have to be able to juggle and talk at the same time too. You have to not just look at your pattern and watch these balls, but look past them, because you're gonna look for where am I throwing to. Your focus is on not what am I receiving from them, but what am I throwing out. So if I'm juggling, I'm going to throw, oops, I'm not gonna talk and juggle at the same time. I'm going to throw I am gonna talk and juggle at the same time. I'm gonna throw to my cameraman and husband, Dan. And then he's gonna throw from his pattern back to me. Da, 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 da. And so that's a really cool thing you can also practice. I'm back to juggling lessons, can't help myself. Is hold 2 balls, have someone throw one into you in that nice arc, and then keep juggling. And that's a lot like when you're passing balls or clubs, torches or knives with another person. So what I love about juggling being like life is passing with another person is a lot like relationships, whether it's personal relationships or work relationships. When you're interacting with someone else, your focus is not on, oh, how are things going in my world? That has to be stable. And your focus is purely on, what am I giving to them? What am I delivering to them? And you're not focused on what are they giving to me, you're trusting that they're gonna give to you in the perfect way for you to catch it. And if they don't, that's when you communicate back and say, hey, can you throw that a little higher or a little lower, whatever would work for you. So there you go, juggling is life. If you would like personal tutorials, yeah, I'm not offering that. I hope you're inspired to juggle and to take these lessons into your daily life and to juggle your many projects and tasks and focuses of attention with ease and grace. Thanks.